All right, this is how I style curly or wavy hair. There's two different methods here, one for definition and one for fullness. I have a fine hair type, a little bit thinner, and I prefer my hair to look thicker, so I'll show you how I do that. All right, so to get started, there's many options. You need to have, I would say, at least get like a gel and maybe a mousse. If you want just one product, go for a gel. Mousse doesn't seem to, I guess it depends on the brand, but it doesn't seem to do a lot on its own. So gel is a little better for me. If you have a more coarse hair type or a really tight curl, you might want to go for creams as well. So you would do a cream first, then follow with a hold product like a gel or whatever you got for hold. I have fine hair, so I'm going to skip the cream. I don't want to weigh it down. So right now I have soaking wet hair out of the shower. You want very wet hair. This is how you're going to have more defined and better clumps. If your hair looks stringy when you're applying your products, it's going to dry stringy. If it looks more clumped, it's going to look so much better. So that's a way to kind of judge if you have enough water. And there's another little trick too, I'll show you. So what I do here is you're going to get a mohawk section right here. This is for volume, okay? So just clip this away. Little duckbill clip. All right. You're going to take, forgot to mention. So I use all Innersense products. Love the brand. And their Hair Love Prep is what I usually start with. And it's it has a heat prepping elements to it and also plumps your hair. So I'm going to spritz that at the very beginning. Even if you don't use heat, which I actually usually air dry my hair, even if I'm not using heat, I'm still going to use this because it has a plumping factor and it's awesome. So started with the heat prepping, Innersense Hair Love Prep. And then you're going to go next with your gel product. This is Innersense I Create Volume. It's a volumizing lotion for body and fullness. They call it a lotion. It's a very thin, viscous gel-like product. Very loose gel. Their products are very concentrated, so I always make sure you have very wet hair. And that's with any product line, honestly. When you're doing this, you're going to want to have very wet hair. Okay, so this is called prayer hands. And this is called raking, kind of like claws here, okay? You're gonna apply a little bit here and there, and then go on the other side. Prayer hands, claw. All right. Got that on there. And then I'll come right after that with a mousse. This is the I Create Lift Volumizing Foam by Innersense. I'm almost out. I use it so much. So awaken it in your hands, and you're going to go on top of that gel with that mousse. Right? Don't worry about scrunching it just yet. All right. So if you want to be lazy, you don't have to do this part. Just scrunch it and go. Or if you want extra definition and volume, you can do this. So I'll just take a slice. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And you're going to use either a wide tooth comb or you're going to use a wet brush or whatever you got that has kind of wider teeth. You're going to hold it out horizontally from the head. Usually I'll kind of hold this part. Then you're going to shake it. This is how you're going to help the hair find the curl clumps. Okay, throw that back. Do the next section. I have thinner hair, so I don't need a lot of sections here. So, go here. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, and you're going out from the head because you want volume. Do this side. This side we can use a wet brush. Or you can use a Denman brush if you have a Denman brush. That did pretty good on the clumping, yeah. Get that back there. Do this side. Make sure you're being gentle. Your hair is at its most fragile when it's wet. So we're not going to scrunch yet. We're going to go to the top. And we're going to apply the heat prep, hair lift prep. And then now we're going to go in with the I Create Volume again. And just rake it in. Then I'm going to follow with the same mousse. I Create Lift. Awaken it in your hands always. Activate those ingredients. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing with the brush, except we're going to go up instead of out. This is going to give you the volume. That's why we separated that. So I just get a little section on the back here, and you can use your comb or your wet brush, whatever you got. Make sure you're not pulling. If you're pulling, you feel like there's tangles, you can work them out in the ends and work your way up. Start over. And hold this, and then you're going to shake and throw it back. Go to your next section right here. Section doesn't have to be perfect. Shake your curl clumps. Okay, now we're going to scrunch the hair. Start to form the curl or the wave. So here's the tip. Your hair has to be wet. If it is not wet, you're not going to hear a squish sound. If you hear a squish sound, your hair is properly wet for this. Let's listen and see. Hopefully it is. Yes. Okay, cool. Plenty of water. We're good. If you don't hear that, you add more water. We're just cupping the hair like this and pulsating. Cup the hair from the bottom up. And I like to lean into it to help keep that, maintain that volume. You want to be out, have it coming out from the head. Throw your head upside down if you want. You probably can't see me in this. Okay. All right. Then I think at this point, you're going to want to find your parting. Where do you want to part your hair? Over here or in the middle? I usually do kind of an off side part. Then you're going to want to find one of several items. Okay, you can do a microfiber towel. You can do a flour sack towel, or the easiest is just a cotton t-shirt. I've used cotton t-shirts plenty of times and it's great. So we're gonna get this excess water out of the hair. So you're gonna take your whatever you chose. You're gonna cup the hair up to your head and you're gonna pulsate. You're gonna see a difference in the definition once we get all that water out. See? It's crazy. Yeah, see the definition? Yeah. So you could, at this point, do another layer of your mousse to give extra hold if you like. It's up to you. I find that I'm like constantly changing up my routine, like as far as, I usually generally do this, but sometimes I'll add extra mousse or do a different kind of, I have another gel that I use, is I Create Hold. It's really awesome. We can also do that. They have so many products that you can use. There's a new one out now called I Create Definition. Extra hard hold mousse. Maybe I'll make a video on that one too. We'll see. All right, so at this point, we're gonna dry the hair. You can air dry. I normally air dry, or you can diffuse. Diffusing is really simple. I'm not an expert at it. It's, you just basically cup it up here, kind of hold it in place, go around the head, go upside down, do that. Remember, I'm sure y'all don't want to watch me do that because that's a very long and boring process. All right, so we're gonna dry the hair and I will be right back. So this is my hair about 90% dry, maybe. You want it to dry about 100%, 90 something to 100. Right. So it has a stiffness to it. This is the cast from the gel. It's not super hard cast, but I don't know if you can see if I stick my hair out like that, it kind of, right, it's gonna stick straight out. So now we're gonna scrunch out the crunch. You basically scrunch it to make it softer now, because it looks kind of funky right now, but it'll start looking really nice when you scrunch this out. And I'm doing the same thing. You're kind of just cupping it. And just pulsating. You can do like this. Some people will use hair oil to scrunch the crunch, but I don't use oils because my hair's thinner. I don't want it to look too wavy. You know, oil can make it seem a little thinner sometimes. Then throw it upside down and scrunch it. Let's see if you can hear yet. And just kind of shake it. You can see that it's softened up a lot. It doesn't look hard anymore. And the texture feels softer. Let's see if I can... And then you can be done at this point if you want. All right. But I do one extra thing. So you can leave, most people leave it at this point, but see the definition of the waves here. I do something a little weird because I want my hair to be big and fluffy, because I want it to look thicker. And this is a look on its own. It looks great, you know, whatever, defined waves and curls. But I will take a boar bristle brush, and this isn't really any specific brand, just make sure it's a boar, it just says boar bristle brush. The ones that don't have all the little plastic pieces in it, you just want it to be, you know, if you can find 100% boar bristle. Here. And a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, you're brushing your curls. Well, it's usually not a good thing, but I do this because it makes my hair big. It makes it, yes, frizzier, but it's a functional frizz. And it ends up being kind of like an old school wave to it, kind of like a Hollywood looking wave. So you just brush my hair, messing up all my waves, right? But look at that, it's how much thicker it is becoming, okay? Versus this other side. You got the definition, and then you have the body and the fluff. This works well with wavy hair. I'm not sure if you have like tight ringlets, if this would do the same. You may not. You can always try, right? Okay. So I prefer this because I want my hair to look thicker. See the difference? And there's going to be another step after this. So I'm going to do this side too. And you're being gentle. This just kind of, this isn't a good detangling brush. It doesn't like go all the way through the hair. It kind of just skims over. It distributes oils. It's a gentle brush. I think this works better for this rather than your usual brush. It smooths down the hair so it doesn't get quite as crazy when you brush with it. Okay. So now that we've fluffed the hair out, I'm going to come in with a cream to smooth it down a little bit and define it. Well, it seems counterproductive, but it actually works. So I use the Inner Peace Whipped Cream Texturizer by Innersense, and I will get like a small amount like that. That's probably too much actually. Just a little bit. Awaken this. This stuff spreads very far. Warm it up. Now I'm going to kind of calm the frizz. We made frizz, now we're calming it down a little bit. I'm trying to think, if you don't use this particular product, what might work? I mean, you can play around with like maybe curl creams or something like that. But this product is amazing. And then usually I'll kind of scrunch it a little bit more here. You see what I mean by that blended wave look? I can't really see. Yep, looks good. So that is the final step. Look how much thicker my hair looks. You would not know how thin it really is. All done. I hope this helps some people. Bye.